All right, hey guys, me and Brookie here. We've been up in Montana for the last, well, I've been up in Montana since April, and it is now the latter part of August. I've been home for 4 or 5 days now, and we're trying to do an intro for our likely our last shed hunt of the year. We're fixing to end up back up in Montana for a little while, but yeah, not sure if we're going to do any shed hunting up there or not. We've got some events to do. I've got a wedding to do. I'm fixing to actually leave. This is Sunday. I'm leaving Saturday to go on a solo backcountry archery elk hunt in Colorado, and then from there they're going to come up and we're going to head up to Montana and do those events. So this is likely our last shed hunt of the year. We had a pretty good year. We got some private ground going on, which was quite a treat. A lot of times you don't get the luxury of that when you live in Texas, being able to go up to Montana and just stumble onto a 12,000 acre ranch. But we were blessed to go on some private ground. It's not heavy with elk, but it's got a decent elk population and some other critters. And so that kind of leads me into last video, I believe it was. Me and Brookie were out, and she had been struggling. She'd been working hard. She came up to kind of help take care of my wife, who got really sick and had a life-saving surgery while we were up there at an event in Anaconda, Montana. And me and Brooke got to get out and do a little bit of shed hunting. And we were out one day, and she had been laboring hard trying to find, she wanted to find an elk shed. And she has found elk sheds before, so it wasn't going to be her first time, but she wanted to find an elk shed, and she had been working hard. And so we were walking, we had separated, we were 100 yards apart, walking this hillside. It wasn't a great face to find elk sheds on, but we were working this hillside, and I just found a deadhead and a spike. I think I'd found 2 spikes and a deadhead. And as we were walking, we could hear what sounded like a bull elk bugling, but it wasn't a very good bugle. It was almost like something you would hear during elk season when you would hear, you know, a Doug Flutie out trying to call somebody in, but it wasn't elk season. I mean, this was like in May or something, so it's not like there's going to be elk hunters out there, and this is private ground. And I don't know if it was a cow elk doing a bugle, which I do know that cows can bugle, or it was just a young bull trying to learn to bugle, but it was just a really pathetic sounding little bugle, and I was trying to get her attention to make sure she could hear it. I know if I could hear it, she could hear it, because I don't hear very good. So I was trying to get her attention to make sure she could hear it, and we were trying to do hand signals and trying to decide whether we were talking about the same thing. And so we finally actually just kind of converged on the side of the mountain. And as we converged, she found a really nice mule deer horn, which was in the last video. And then, you know, we were excited that we heard this elk bugling that made us converge together, and she come up on that muley horn, and then literally took, man, 10 or 11 steps away from that muley horn and found her first ever moose horn. Yeah,
which that was like, that was the last thing I was expecting to find out there, because I hadn't even found an elk shed yet, and I found a moose shed. I was like,
yeah, we're out in the shop here, and we've got some dirt daubers and some wasps giving us some grief. I've been gone for a while, so the shop Brooke has done an incredible job of cleaning the shop up, but it's summertime here in Texas, and the wasps they're playing for keeps. Yeah, it was just an interesting deal, and we were super excited. What was the feeling like when you looked down and actually, did you think it was a moose horn? Did you think it was a pelvis? What did you think?
I kind of seen it over there, just a white kind of like thing sitting in the grass, and I thought it was just bones. So I was going over to check, hoping to find maybe a deadhead or something. And I get closer, and I see the base of it, and I kind of sat there like, there's no way that was a moose shed. And then I woke up on it, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Well, I was fortunate to be close enough to see your reaction, and it was good. I wished I would have caught your reaction on video. You know, any people that have shed hunted before, you know how many false alarms there are out there. You see something and you're all excited, and you get over there to it, and it's a stick or, you know, a pelvis bone.
Look like sheds.
They do, and they have a tendency to do sometimes they look more like sheds than shed look like sheds. So anyway, we really enjoy shed hunting, and one of these days I'm going to get her to maybe share a little bit about how shed hunting was kind of a breakthrough for her. She used shed hunting to kind of deal with some things in her when she was a young teenager, some anxieties and stuff, but getting out in creation and just appreciating creation and getting out and doing some shed hunting, how God used that in her life. And so one of these days I hope she'll share with that. But as it is, we just enjoy getting out and seeing creation and finding sheds. That feeling of hiking 10 miles in a day and not seeing anything, that you're looking for it, and then all of a sudden, bam, there it is. It's just a treat that's hard to explain. And so this is pretty much going to be our last shed hunt. And Brookie had worked she worked really hard trying to find an elk shed, and I won't say what ultimately happened because she didn't have the greatest of luck. I had a pretty good hunt that day.
Yeah,
actually, I had a pretty good one. Wasn't great, but we did find some cool stuff. So anyway, invite you guys to come on our likely our last shed hunt of the year. And again, I'll say this again at the end, but you know, in order to grow this, I need you guys to help me, and that's to like and subscribe and share it. Tell people about it, because we are really trying to grow this channel. Maybe I want to make a living at it. Heck, I don't know. That's not my heart right now. My heart right now is to share the gospel with different people. And you know, our verse that we've been working on today as a family, it's Colossians 3, 2 is what I'd like to share with you. And it just says to set your heart on things above and not on earthly things. And that's what I'm wanting to do with this. I'm wanting to take this and get our attention off of creation and on things above. That being said, I do believe that God blessed us with this beautiful thing called creation for us to see Him in it. And as we focus on that, we see Him, and that diverts our attention from this to Him. So that's really what I'm wanting to do here with this stuff. And obviously a lot of people don't get to get out like I do, so this is an opportunity to take folks with. So anyway, come go with us, and we'll show you our last Montana shed hunt for 2021. Hold on. See, that's what we have to deal with, is I'm trying to get video of the horn, and then I'm always getting a video of your butt on the way to the horn, because you take off running for it. Me and Brookie kind of up here in an area where we really wasn't overly confident on the direction of this face, because the snowpack is usually really deep up here, and but we've kind of exhausted all of our other options. This is our last day up here in this 2022 Montana. 2021, yeah, it is. Golly, what am I thinking? I'm old age. But anyway, our last day, and so we're just kind of trying some new ground and walking along here, and I looked up and seen, looks like a pretty decent brown 5, so I'll turn the camera around here real quick, and we'll just walk you guys down there to it. And this is what I looked up and seen. It's pretty thick, gnarly timber in here, so it's easy to not see stuff. But man, that's actually a 6. Barely, but it is a 6. So we need to match him up, and hopefully we can find him nearby. But it's a mess in here. I mean, just as you can see, you look around, there's a lot of deadfall down here in some of these places. I'm gonna get Brookie to video me picking this one up. Been chewed on just a little bit.
I really hope we can find the other side. We haven't found many browns, so it'd be cool to match up another one.
Finally a left.
For real, we've only found rights.
We have found so many rights. We've got 25 horns.
And like
1, 2, 3, 4 sets.
3/4 of them.
In 4 sets. Obviously we have lefts. We have one other left. And everything else has been right side. So happy to find another brown. Happy to find a 6-point. Happy to find another left. Here's the pickup on him.
He's pretty.
Just a really pretty color. You know, he's got good dark color to him. Light tips. And again, barely a 6, but he is a 6. Young bull, doesn't have a lot of mass, but still got hair there on it. Yeah, just a good looking horn. So hopefully we can stomp around here and maybe get into a little pocket and match him up and find some more. Let's go find him, Brookie. And I just found that 6-point elk on my back there. It's a pretty one on my back. Not real big, but he's pretty. And of course, me and Brook are trying to match him up and walking along, and I just almost stepped on this little fork horn. Got you turned around. Get that horn, Rio. Get it, Rio. Shed, Rio. Get the shed. Get the shed, buddy. Get the shed.
He had something in his mouth.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had a stick in his mouth.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Rio. Get the shed. Yeah, good boy. Good boy, Rio. So if we're finding young muleys up here like this,
yeah,
there's no reason why there shouldn't be horns to be found up here in this this area. All right, well, brown muley, little bitty thing. We'll gladly take him. Woohoo! All right, well, videoing Brookie here. She's been working her tail off trying to find an elk shed. She has found deer and she has found moose. She hadn't been able to find an elk. And right here by where Rio's laying, come here, Rio. Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. She's got a broken main beam on an elk shed, and Rio's trying to run off with it.
Excuse me. Rio, bring it here.
So we're in, I just found a really nice brown 6-point, and I found a little forkhorn muley, and probably 80 yards later, Brookie found this broken main beam. And we're counting this as just an absolute blessing. She's worked hard. This is our last day. This is her MO on elk sheds. She always wait till the last day. So she should find a few more here real quickly, because that's how she tends to roll. And anyway, we're tickled. She's finally got some elk bone. And I think we're in a good spot to hopefully gather up a few more. We're going to try to match up a really pretty brown 6 that I found about an hour ago. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now, is we're just gridding, trying to find the match to that 6, and she scored a broken main beam. So pretty good day. That's going to add, that's another right. So we were counting, we've got 7 lefts and 28 rights is what we've got in our pile right now. So there should be a whole bunch of lefts out here to be had and a few rights. We'll take you with us and show you what we find. Congrats, Briggy. I do too.
No.
Okay, well, we just, I don't know, it's been 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, Brookie found that busted main beam. And we're kind of working our way back, hoping to be able to match up that really nice 6 I found earlier. And it's probably 80 yards. I just happened to glass back behind where we were kind of coming from. We turn the camera, and I'll see if I can zoom you guys in on what looks like a really pretty.
You would never see that if you wouldn't glass that up.
No.
But like, you can see it now.
You can see right in the middle of the camera, tine's sticking up. Its tine's up, pretty brown. I'm just going to roll the camera as we hike down, because we could find the match on the way. And typically, there's a rule: whoever finds the first horn gets to keep the set whenever the second one is found. But I've gone with house rules this weekend, because I've been here longer than Brookie. And so I went with house rules this weekend. Whoever finds the second horn gets to keep the set. So I can assure you, she's scouring the countryside on the way down here right now, hoping that she sees the set or the match to this one, because it's a nice looking horn. It could be. Wait, there it is. Oh, it's a deadhead.
Deadhead. I just seen a skull.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. So that horn we're looking at is actually a deadhead, a freshie, because he's still brown. Wow, he's got really pretty. Oh, he's got a double tine down there.
Look at his,
oh,
look at his head.
He's all deformed. Yeah, that's weird looking.
What in the world?
What a good looking bull. Yeah, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by. It's really don't have a eye guard there. It's just a little nubbin.
But it like grew on the front of his head.
Yeah, I'll take the camera and video. I'm gonna pick him up. It's rolling right now. So yeah, just glassed up this deadhead. He's not, I don't know, he's weird. His horns are pretty jacked. And I found a deadhead on this same hillside yesterday, about a mile back behind us here. And I just happened to glass back and see this joker. So I'm gonna dig him up out of here. He's a fresh one. He's still brown.
Look how weird his horns are.
That is so strange looking. Pretty cool looking bull. But yeah, that right horn is out front. It's not off to the side, and it grows out to the front. And of course, it's kind of deformed too. I mean, yeah, just a weird looking bull. He's fresh. He's pretty fresh. He probably, I don't know, he probably just didn't make it through the winter. I would assume he's an older bull. He's got good bases, good mass, but just dark brown. So he hasn't been exposed to the weather much. As far as sun, he's probably been buried up in snow. But yeah, just crazy looking. So heavy, got a lot of weight to him. It's a heavy horns. The left side, pretty generic, pretty long front, but then he just falls apart. The back end, nothing to speak of. The 3 is a joke, but just a unique, cool looking bull, and I'm a happy camper. All right, well, we still got to go match up at 6, and no telling what we might find moving through here. I don't believe if this wasn't a deadhead, that horn wouldn't have been sticking up high enough to see it. So if it would have been a shed, I don't think we'd ever come across it. The route we were taking. I'm gonna try to cut this off.
That's pretty cool. 2 deadheads in.
Yeah, 2 days.
Yep.
Oh. Well, yeah, there's the body, the spine, ribs and stuff. We'll go do a quick look down and see if we can find a broadhead in him somewhere or something. I mean, he could have died from old age. He could have died from a fight. We're finding broke tines in here, broke horns, broke main beams. Could have died from wolf, mountain lion. Could have been anything.
Rio.
Yeah, I don't see. A lot of ribs are gone, so look for, where a bullet or broadhead may have cut a rib, but just a lot of it's gone. Predators. There's a lot of wolves in here, so this could have just very well been a wolf kill. All right, Brookie's over here taking some ATLs. She just found a little elk shed. I have no idea what it is. I haven't seen it yet. Looks like I can see some tines. She says it's chewed up a little bit. But, oh, look at that. Heck yeah. I was just complimenting her on how hard she's worked. She has worked really hard this year. Like really, really hard this year. And just hasn't been that she found a broken main beam a while ago, right here pretty close to where we're at. And I found a really nice deadhead about 100 yards from where we're at. And she's hunted hard, she's worked hard, but hasn't been really able to find much. She found a little moose horn yesterday about 500 yards from where we're at. She found a little muley shed yesterday, right there in that same area. But I'll just give you a little idea why it's so hard to find these things. I mean, if you look down here, that thing's pretty much buried up. There's a couple of tines sticking up out of the ground.
I found that because you're the one we were talking. I just looked down and seen it.
So it's been there for a long time, but it's been pretty sheltered from the weather because it's tucked in there. And I don't know. It's an elk shed. There's no doubt about it. She just found herself an elk shed, and that's what we've been looking for today. Working really hard on trying to find one. So let me scroll out here a little bit so she can do a pickup. Dig that thing out of a...
Ria, come on.
Come here, bud.
You ready?
Yeah. All right, here she is doing her pickup. You know, as long as that thing looks like it's been there, it's in pretty decent shape, really. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little 4-point. Looks like he's got a busted, actually a 5-point. He broke off the 3, and that little tether on the back there gives him a 5. And sure enough, he's small, but she's worked hard, and it's 87 degrees, I think, here today. They've got heat advisories here in Montana today, and it's hot.
Good boy.
And we're about 4 miles in today, and we gotta go back to camp, pack, and head out. We've got an event this weekend, and tomorrow we gotta go get set up at the track. So we are in the process of heading back to the pickup.
It happens like this every time.
This is how she rocks. It's like, let's head back to the truck.
I wouldn't be surprised if I found some more.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. So anyway, it was a great eye to have spotted that one. She's got herself an elk shed here in this 2021 rocking chair Montana elk shed adventure. Team El Shaddai. I think we are 28 horns this year up here in Montana.
We're at 31.
30 even. We're at 30 even.
Well, if you include that broken one, it's because we found 5 earlier.
Right, we had 25 left. You're right, 31. Not only is she better at finding sheds, she's better at math. Anyway, that's it. We've got her first full elk shed this year, and we are about half a mile from the pickup, and we're going to scour this property, headed up the hill here, and see what we can come up with in between here and there. If we find anything, we'll show you. Blessings. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Just set that down because I have a tendency to... All right, it's videoing, so we just got to get collected. All right. All right, well, that is a wrap for our 2021 Montana shed hunt. Team El Shaddai finally reunited, and we got to get out in the woods together. And man, I absolutely love getting to go out and spend time in the woods with Brookie. And she don't do it as much of it as she used to. She used to be a lot more involved with it, and she's in those cool teenage years where she'd rather race her dirt bike and go hang out with her friends. But every once in a while, I get her out there, and man, I love it. And so we had a good time this year, and a lot of hard work, and that's what I really want to touch on. For me, watching her go out and do that, I think a lot of people don't realize the labor that you put into this, and it is a labor of love. For me, it's as much about exercise as anything, because that exercise is different than most other exercise you can get, other than maybe a dirt bike. But the exercise is through the roof.
Especially from here in Texas, you don't get anything like
Yeah,
that. Just
yeah, the
from, like,
elevation. Hard to explain the elevation difference, what it's like to live in oxygen and then go where there is none. In fact, last weekend on our way home, we stopped off in Telluride, Colorado. Me and my wife went up and camped up in the area where I'm going to be elk hunting. I think we pitched our tent at 11. Actually, Mama slept in the camper shell of my pickup, and I slept on the ground outside. It was 11,300 foot, and there is just no oxygen there. I mean, just a simple walk around the pickup, and you notice that. But when you're on the side of these mountains, you know, we're only at 6,000, 7,000 feet there where we're hunting, shed hunting in Montana. Very noticeable. So the labor is that much greater. It's hard. It's really hard to do this stuff. And so I'm watching her and I'm thinking, she's not acclimated. I've been doing this for a month before she got there, so I'm in shape for it and I'm ready for it. And I'm watching her and I'm thinking, man, she's going to want to pull the plug on this pretty quick. She's not going to be able to stick it out. But she kept going, and it was like, man, it just made me proud. It made my chest bow out to watch her do what should make her chest bow out, because whenever you go in and work hard, whether you find what you're looking for or not, you can come out proud because you put your heart and soul into it. That being said, when you go out in the woods, you have these visions of finding these giant side-by-side 400-inch antlers, and it's what keeps you moving. I mean, it just inspires you to go out and do it. Well, nobody found any 400-inch side-by-side antlers, but you did see that last deadhead that I found in the video, which was really cool for us. That was our second deadhead of the season, and it's just a unique deadhead with that right beam coming out the middle of the top of his head, which is interesting. And he was still brown, which was really late in the year for him to be brown, so a lot of cool stuff there. But the reality is it's just tough, and she was working hard and wasn't finding anything, and she was working harder than I was. And then to see her at the end finally dig up that little scraggle tooth, chalked out, raghorn, for me still makes me proud. And I know that in her mind that the carrot dangling in front of her was that 400-inch side-by-side set. Her reality was a little chalked out raghorn. For me as a dad, watching my kid go out there and get that same satisfaction finding that little chalky raghorn, it does something in my soul, and it ministers to me, because I think a lot of times we get the mental picture in our head of how it's supposed to go, and when it doesn't match the mental picture in our head, we feel like we failed. And for me, there was nothing failure about all the hard work that she did, and then to be able to keep the focus and the concentration to see that thing, because I wouldn't have seen it. So I don't know, for you, was that a satisfying find? Even though it wasn't that giant 400-inch horn, it was...
I was happy with that. I mean, obviously I would have loved to find a 400-inch
Sure.
bull. But it was very satisfying for me because my goal was to find an elk shed. I was willing to do anything to find that elk shed. And we were walking back to the truck. We were done.
We were done.
And I just happened to see it, and it was very exciting.
Well, it reminds me of 2019 when on our last day of shed hunting in 2019, and you hadn't found an elk horn all year.
Yeah, the whole time.
And we had, I don't know how many, you probably hiked 50 miles and hadn't found an elk horn, and then you found 3 inside of
like 10 minutes.
Literally 15 minutes max. You found 3. So that's what it kind of reminded me of, and I guess that's your MO. But either way you slice it, it was just an absolute blast. I thank you for coming and spending that time with me. It's from my perspective, those are priceless memories for me, and I'm thrilled that we get to log this stuff and keep it, and you'll get to watch them forever when I'm dead and gone. But I did find one pretty decent bull, one side. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. You can sit here. I gotta grab this one just so we can show them our biggest. They've already seen the video of this guy. I want to show them again. I'm guessing he was probably a 320. He's chewed off really bad here. He's chewed off really bad here. Not too bad there. Not too bad there. This one's chewed almost completely off on his 5. But the mass, he's just got really good mass. Just all around, just a heavy, dense, decent bull. He's kind of short beamed, but just a tank of a bull. And for us, this is just a treat. And I wanted to bring him over because this was one of those same deals for me. It was like, there was a day that I was supposed to go help the people that were hunting on their ranch. I was going to help them brand calves. And so I'd gotten up early that morning, and I did about a 6-mile run that morning and didn't find nothing. Was demoralized, ready to quit, and then went up on the side of a mountain and found 3 inside of about 10-15 minutes. I mean, just on one side coming down of a creek, or a creek I should say, in Montana, coming down the mountain, and I found 3 horns, just bam, 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 and this was the first one that I found. And so, I don't know, and I've shared that in a past video, but sometimes it's just by not quitting is the victory, and then sometimes by not quitting you get the trophy. So anyway, that is a wrap for our 2021 Montana shed hunt. Team El Shaddai, pretty hard at it this year. Looking forward to trying to do some more of these. Ugh. It's a dirt dauber. I thought it was a yellow jacket. I almost pooped a little. But hopefully you guys are seeing a little bit of the beauty of creation that we're seeing when we're out doing this stuff, and hopefully you're inspired by some of the chapter and verse that we're sharing, and hopefully just the glow of Jesus in our lives. So anyway, thank you guys. Love you so much. Please do subscribe, like, share, and let's try to get these videos in front of some more folks. We'll try to clean the videos up, as we learn. We're just rookies at this stuff. I'm trying to learn how to edit and do all that fancy stuff and put music in. Hopefully we'll grow into that stuff, but mostly I just want to grow into showing people the love of Jesus. So blessings, and we'll see you guys next weekend when I head out to Colorado for a solo backcountry archery elk hunt.